trust, and integrity are all common traits shared by the best leaders. Now, it's one thing to say that and quite another to actually live it. You know, there's many times when our beliefs and subsequent behaviors are put to the test. Despite pressure to do what's convenient or easy, leaders have to do what's right when it comes time to act. And here's my story of how I was once put to the test. I was pretty nervous, and for good reason. You see, my supervisor, Garcie, was the type of boss that you did everything in your power to avoid having a conflict with. This guy had a reputation for having quite a temper, and I feared I was about to get a taste of it because, you see, I had just completed calculating the weekly performance numbers, and they were not good. In fact, food efficiency was calculated at a dismal 88.2%. Now, this was far below the 97% that Garcie had expected, so I knew he wasn't going to be happy. Well, before calling him, I anticipated his reaction and I prepared my response, which was pretty truthful and simple. I'd made several bad decisions that affected the number, and there were other reasons as well, but the bottom line was that I blew it and I was accountable. As I dialed his number on the telephone, I thought I was well prepared with my facts and my explanations. In actuality, I was completely unprepared for what happened next. Reading off the weekly numbers, the one I was dreading to report came closer, and then finally the moment came. The words slowly rolled off my tongue. Food efficiency is 88.2%. After a short pause, Garcie's temper exploded. "What the hell, Ben? How can that be?" Well, I explained myself as best I could, but then he countered with, "Well, that number's not right." I assured him the number had been triple-checked, and unfortunately it was accurate, and then he came back with, "That number's not right. I won't accept it. Give me the right number, and I don't care how you do it." And with that, he hung up. Whew, was Garcie actually suggesting that I fake the number? I called another manager and shared my story and asked him, "What do you think I should do?" The other manager said, "Hey, he wants a better number. Your only choice is to give him what he's asking for. Join the club, Ben. We've all had to do it." Well, I felt I had another choice. Leadership is a choice. So I chose not to lie. I called Garcie back. "Do you have a better number for me now?" he asked. "No, Garcie, the number's still the same, 88.2%, and I know you're disappointed. I am too. I guess I'm most disappointed in myself. I take full responsibility for the decisions that I made that caused the efficiency to be so low. But honestly, that number's accurate, and I don't see how I can change it without falsifying the weekly report." After a long pause and in an eerily calm voice, Garcie asked, "Do you like working here, Ben?" "Yes, of course I do," I replied. "Then call me back with the right number." Click. He hung up on me. Well, this thinly veiled threat that I could lose my job over this issue didn't go unnoticed. Although I did like my job, I didn't particularly like working for Garcie, but I had a family to support. I began to think about the process required to change the number, which included altering other numbers to make the 88.2% come out right to 97%. And it was then that I made my decision. I called Garcie back. "Now what's the number?" he asked with a sigh. "Well, it's the same as it was the last two times we talked, 88.2%. And if you want to fire me for that, Garcie, go ahead. I probably deserve it for the bad decisions I made that caused the problem, but I won't falsify the numbers." Click. I hung up on him. Well, we never spoke about that conversation again, and I wasn't fired, but he did treat me differently from that point on, with more respect. You know, the entertainer Danny Thomas once said, "There's two types of people in this world, givers and takers. Now, the takers may eat better, but the givers always sleep better." From a leadership standpoint, Garcie proved to be a taker. He took what he wanted from his managers with little thought to the consequences or the impact of his words and actions. I've learned that the best leaders are givers. They give of themselves to their people. They give their talent, their expertise, and their wisdom as they strive to develop their teams to be the very best at what they do. Leaders set the best example by demonstrating their character not only through their words, but also through the actions that they take. I encourage you to follow the advice of Danny Thomas, do what's right, and be a giver to your team. Thanks for watching.